very excited. This is probably the most unedited and raw you will have seen us. We're going to edit this video some, but we're good. We'll have to edit it some. You see? I can't talk in a straight line.
We're doing this video because we wanted to do something to celebrate 5,000 subscribers. I don't think we ever thought that we would already be at 5,000 subscribers. So we feel really blessed and encouraged. You're supposed to be in bed asleep. It's like 9 o'clock.
So all the kids are in bed sleeping.
In theory.
We thought all the kids were in bed sleeping.
And you came out of my room. You didn't even come out of your room.
All right, Grace. Since you're here,
we're
going to start. We're going to give you a question for you to answer.
Okay. And then you have to go to bed.
Here we go. Here's a question.
How many goats are you planning on getting? You're planning on getting 2? Okay. What do you like most about being homeschooled?
I can spend more time with you.
You can spend more time with me?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I like about homeschool. And you'll get to spend more time with the animals. I find this girl on many a sunny day laying in the sun with her dog, Oreo. Actually, that leads me to the next question. Someone asked how old is our dog, and we think he's about 11 or 12. We actually inherited him from a friend 4 or 5 years ago, so he's 11 or 12. He's pretty old, and he actually has been a great dog, but we're gonna have to figure out a replacement pretty soon because he can't scare away bears and coyotes like he used to.
Come on.
I'll go ahead and answer this one because Art's putting Grace back in bed. It says, how in the world with 4 children am I able to stay on task, organized, and still make time to show us all into your lives? It's really hard, actually. And you can sometimes find me calling him crying about how am I gonna do all this. I find that the biggest thing is simplifying. And now I am saying this from a stance of like, I have hard days all the time. Many days are very hard. But the thing that seems to help me the most, and he helps me with this a lot, is simplifying and only doing the things that I really have to do. Which on the one hand helps me, but on the other hand makes me sad because a lot of times that means like the creative things that I like to do, I don't ever really get to. And those are kind of the things that I thrive on, or when I get to be really creative with cooking or with crafting or making my home beautiful. But I continue to just tell myself that there's a season for everything, and this is not my season for those things so much. If you need an example of simplifying, it's like this. Like many days we have like chicken and broccoli for dinner. I mean, that's it. That's what we eat. And I think the other answer is I don't. It says, how do you make time and stay on task and all that? I don't. My house is never clean. Ever. So that's your answer, is there's no answer. I don't. I can't. I fail a lot at those things. Would you quit your nursing career if our YouTube channel became big enough to support our family?
I think I would probably like to keep working in nursing. I would like to cut back to part-time so that I have more time here to work on projects that I want to get done here.
What do I base our children's homeschooling on, and what program do I use, if I use any? I'm actually going to do a series about that in January. It's way too complicated to answer right now.
Have we ever thought about getting ducks? The answer is yes. I love ducks.
Yes, we've had ducks before.
We're not planning on getting ducks right now, but I love ducks. I love their personality. We would love to get ducks down the road. Will we be getting pigs? We've had pigs. We do hope to get pigs. My goal with pigs would be to not just get piglets and raise them to slaughter, but get pigs that we can breed and have multiple generations. That's kind of what I want to do with animals right now, is not just raise them for production. I would love to raise some broiler chickens and just get them as chicks and slaughter them. But my goal is kind of a deeper level of learning and having multiple generations of animals at our place.
Yeah, we want a breeding pair. How long before we see ourselves having livestock and a productive kitchen garden?
Probably 3 weeks to having some sort of livestock, and a productive garden is a challenge for first year on kind of new ground. But I do think we'll have a fairly productive garden this coming year. It's always a challenge though when you're working on new ground or ground that hasn't been worked for a long time.
Which leads me into another question. Someone asked, how much do I can every year? The answer is not much. We moved 7 times in 6 years or something like that. And although we would usually grow something at each house, I didn't can very much.
Here's a question from Joey Chansey. What kind of animals do we want to raise on our homestead? And we've kind of touched on this, but pigs, chickens, goats. Initially we're getting goats and chickens.
And pigs.
So here's a question from Dusty Old Homestead. When you get YouTube rich, are you going to buy a bus and hit the road like the Rhodes? No. Our plan was actually, we were hoping to get a Learjet actually and go island hopping all around the world. So.
This question is from Pippa Lane, but a few other people asked it too. Where do we see ourselves in 5 years? I don't actually know if this will take only 5 years. It could take longer. But I would like to be at the point where we have enough skills and knowledge and work ethic that we are running a mostly self-sustaining homestead. What I mean by that is that we are growing most of our own food. What we don't grow, we buy in bulk. We know we have the knowledge to not only grow summer vegetables and put them up, but we know how to store winter vegetables, that we know how to cure meats and can them, so that really if for some reason we couldn't get food, we would have plenty of it. One of my biggest dreams and visions is that we will actually be able to renovate our house some and make it to where it can actually be off-grid. And when I say off-grid, I don't mean solar panels. I just mean like we have a wood cook stove, we have a reliable heat source with wood, we have the ability to get fresh drinking water, we have an outhouse or composting toilet, and we know how to use those things. I realize that those things take a lot of knowledge and hard work, and I actually think that those are our biggest stumbling blocks, is the knowledge. We don't have the knowledge, and we want to do the hard work, but actually our biggest stumbling block would be time. So time ultimately is our biggest resource that we're lacking in currently.
So here's I'm gonna do 3 questions real quick, back to back. Deuce Vita, how do you pronounce that?
I don't know, Deuce Vitae.
I'm mispronouncing this, but
Sorry.
Ask what we think about video games and technology for children. Just a short answer, I just think they change the way your brain works. I'm not a big fan of video games. For kids, I think they kind of feed into a mindset that is not easily satisfied with good, simple things. You know, I don't think they're evil or anything. I just think that they do affect your brain. And then let's see, Texas Pete, this is a funny question. Texas Pete says, are you and Justin Rhodes actually brothers? You're just afraid to tell us your last name.
Where is that?
No, we are not actually brothers.
Where is that question?
We do kind of look like each other though. And then David Smith says, how long do we think it'll take to get to 10,000 subscribers?
3 weeks? I don't know. That would be amazing.
If I was guessing, it's hard to say, but I would say 2 months from now.
You think so?
2 or 3 months.
That would be fast, I think.
Because with YouTube, things tend to grow exponentially. They don't always, but you can actually...
Your turn.
My turn. I just put them down.
Please. Quite a few people on the YouTube questions and on Facebook, and I even got some emails, asked how we met the Rhodes family. And we knew them through mutual friends, and so like Rebecca and I knew each other on Facebook. She put out an ad for a rental house across the street from them that their dad was renting out. And it just so happened that we were looking for a bigger home because we were about to have our third baby, which is Justice, and responded to the ad, got the house, and ended up being neighbors, which honestly was one of the funnest years of my life, being neighbors with them. There was another family that lived up the road. We all had kids, and it was just really fun. Oh, another funny story is that all of those families, we all had chickens, and between us we had like a few hundred chickens, and they were all free range. I will never free range chickens again. All of our yards, the whole road in between our houses was covered in chicken poop, and when we would take walks, the chickens would just follow us down the road. And actually, if you go to our Facebook page and scroll all the way down to the bottom, there's a picture of that. There's a picture of us walking down the road with all these chickens walking with us. This is from Teresa Smith. Do I do any craft projects like knitting? Not really. I really love to sew, but I don't have a sewing machine right now, and I don't really have anywhere to set it up currently, and I don't really have time. But I love to sew. I have made clothes for my kids before and blankets for them, and I enjoy that. I would actually really, really love to learn to knit. My mom is an exceptional knitter, and it seems like that would actually be a really doable craft for me to learn as a mom. I can't remember who it was, but someone asked about, are we going to do more bee videos? We are. It's just not like the best time of year for getting into the hive. But yeah, we will. We'll do more bee videos. Susan Paulson asks, how many jars of spun honey did we process? Between Art's mom and I'm pretty sure we did like 30 something, 35 maybe. How did the green tomato pickles come out? Asks Nick Butler. We actually showed us eating them like last week, but they were okay. They were really mushy, so the texture was not good. I just didn't use crisp tomatoes, but the flavor was great. So if you know how to keep your tomatoes crisp, I think it's a great recipe because the flavor was perfect. Oh, someone else asked about the apple butter. The apple butter flavor was awesome. It was perfect. I was doing an experiment though where I didn't peel them, and that experiment would have turned out great if I had something like a Vitamix, but I don't. I just have a Ninja. So there's little tiny pieces of peel in the apple butter. I really wanted to give it its Christmas presents this year, but I'm not going to because that really bothers some people.
I'm back. Caroline Baines asked, have we planned out the fencing for our property? We have some fencing planned. I haven't actually decided what the final perimeter fence is going to be around our pastures. I do have a friend who has a post driver that he's going to bring over with his tractor and actually help me put it in, and he's going to actually help me plan it here in the next 2 months, and then come out and drive all the posts in a day. Do you hunt in order to feed your family? I shot one deer last year, and we've eaten most of it. I have not been out one day this deer season yet, and it's just a matter of time. If you hunt, you know it's very time consuming. I love being out there. Yeah. Are we going to have more kids?
We don't know.
We don't know.
That's the answer.
Do we have any plans for the tobacco barn? The big tobacco barn that has been in more videos than any other barn, we hope to use the downstairs for animals and the upstairs actually to keep open, kind of as an event space. or to have people, friends, stay in when they come and visit us.
We've actually set it up really nice with a bed and a living area and like a hangout area for friends, and they've stayed there. It's been really fun.
Linda MC asked how we plan to handle the deer in the garden. The plan is to build a deer fence around our garden. Jesse Butcher asks, what is the best thing about vlogging and what do we get from it personally? Vlogging is really hard, actually.
It's really hard.
I think the best thing about it is it's pushing us to be creative, and it's a project that we're working on together, and that's been really good. What do we get from it personally? I get a really big kick out of teaching stuff. It's definitely a creative outlet, and the daily or 6-day-a-week vlogging has been kind of forced creative output, which in many ways is good.
Yeah. For me, as a mom, I almost never get to start something and do the whole process and then finish it in one sitting. And most nights that I edit, I do get to do that, and it's very satisfying. I really don't get that kind of satisfaction most days. So I really appreciate that about the editing, even if it is exhausting. So Fuller with Less asks, how do I schedule homeschooling time amongst all the other things going on? Especially, how do I give the big kids the necessary instruction when there's a baby that needs me to? It's extremely hard. That's the answer. He helps some with that when he's able, but you will find me most days holding a baby while instructing. The one thing I do, though, is I always put Justice down for his nap, and then I do school. I mean, the school that requires quiet, like math. But I try to do as much as I can just with everybody, because everyone can get something out of what we're learning. But math is one of those things that Grace needs to focus on, and I need to focus on how to teach her. I still do it with the baby a lot. It's very hard.
Chad Andrews says, as someone who is about to start homesteading, just bought 17 acres with a house, how do you prioritize the budget for home repairs or remodels and ensuring you invest enough in the land to provide for your family? Chad, I just want to hug you right now. I'm sorry. This is a huge challenge. I don't know if I could speak to prioritizing a budget for home repairs and remodels versus homestead investments. We are figuring this out as we go. There's a lot of projects that we need to do in the house still that we haven't gotten to, and there's a ton of stuff that we would like to be investing into kind of on the outside, homesteading infrastructure stuff. So we're figuring out as we go. Yeah, that's kind of the story we're telling, actually, is how you balance everything in life.
Secret Butterfly says, as a homesteader with young kids, what are some tricks of the trade for getting things accomplished? Here's the thing, like, we don't know. We have theories and we're testing those theories out. So one of our theories is to just do everything with our kids. We just figured that's the only way we're gonna get anything done, is to just bring them along and maybe get a little less done than if we were doing it by ourselves, but we still get something done. And they have fun. Usually they have a blast and they learn something. So that's been our theory for now, and otherwise we don't get stuff done and we fail miserably a lot of days. Someone's asking, Shannon Pelfrey is asking if we'll be canning or fermenting our harvest next year. Fermenting and food storage are two areas that I really want to increase my knowledge on. Canning too, because I don't know how to use a pressure canner. But yeah, the answer is yes, though I don't know how perfect it will be because I'll just be learning. Oh,
here's a question from Iron Dog 63. What's the hardest sacrifice you had to make with this lifestyle you have? You know, there's kind of two answers to that. One would be the hardest sacrifice to the lifestyle, kind of the homesteading lifestyle, is probably having moved quite a ways out of town and away from some of our friends, where our friends don't just stop in. That's really probably the biggest sacrifice we made. Rita Ross asks, do you all have kids? And if so, how old are they? And what does Art do job-wise? I'm a nurse, and we do have kids. We have 4 kids, and they're all under 7 years old.
The kids need a puppy. Will you consider a dog in their future? Yes. I really don't want a puppy right now, though. Are we going to get horses? Grace would sure like that. We take horseback riding lessons. She and I do together. And it's not just like horseback riding lessons, it's horsemanship lessons. It's because we're trying to learn now how to care for a large animal like a horse.
I guess I'll just throw this out there too. I actually told Grace today that if she made a YouTube video and got 1 million views on it, that I'd get her a pony. And I'm not joking, but it's kind of a joke, but I'm totally serious about it. So we were talking about making that video later this week.
Yeah.
Tracy Good asks how many acres we own, and we kind of already, she also asked about our 5-year plan. We have a bunch of acres. As far as kind of the functional acres in grass and open land, it's really just 4 or 5 acres that we have down here in the bottom. That's what we're working with as far as our homestead goes.
You think 4 or 5? 3 or 4?
Lizzie Guiza asked, when did y'all meet and how long did you wait to get married?
We met like 11 years ago.
Yeah.
We dated for 18 months. Here.
Wendy Smith asked us if we've ever thought of living anywhere else and where would it be?
When we were thinking about it, I wanted to move to Idaho. You didn't though, did you?
Idaho.
Yeah, he didn't want to move. I wanted to move to Idaho. But I don't really want to move away from my family.
Yeah. I'd like to live in Sweden, actually. Sweden. I want to be a Swedish homesteader, actually. Right now, that's really what I want to be.
What is something we really want to grow this summer? I have a vision of being able to eat out of my pantry all winter. So I don't know if that'll happen this summer, but in future summers, I want to be growing root crops and winter squashes and things like that that will either keep in the ground with heavy mulch or keep in my cellar or keep in my pantry. Those are the things I am actually the most excited about growing.
Here, Charlie Darwin asks, have we had any close shaves on the homestead? Actually, we haven't had any close shaves on the homestead. Not a single close shave.
Like,
did you say we're going to draw?
Mm-hmm.
Did you say we're going to do a drawing?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Just give me some scissors. I'll cut these in strips.
Well, we know there's like randomizer tools, but we really like not using randomizer tools. It's kind of fun.
We're kind of low-tech folks.
We could figure out how to use a randomizer tool. We figured out how to edit videos.
We did in one day. Oh, okay. Linda Penny. Her question was, will you be making cheese when we get the goats? Probably not initially because we're getting Nigerian dwarfs, but yes, that is one of the things I am the most excited about doing is making our own cheese. So Linda Penny, I hope you see this, and if you do, please email us your address. Our email address is in the description below this video. Right there, you'll see our email. Right there, right below the video. Right there, it's right there. So you will be receiving a jar of spun honey, and I'll probably put some instructions in there because it's not quite ready to be eaten yet.
So there you go. That was our first question and answer video. We hope you enjoyed it. We had fun doing this. Maybe we'll do it again at 10,000 subscribers or 100, whichever one comes first.
Is that, no, that's not what it said. It said, we are humble, how do we stay humble?
It said, we are humble, how are we going to stay humble as we get more successful on YouTube?
Is that what it said? I thought it said, how do we stay humble? Well, first of all, let me, if the question is how
Let's find the question.
If the question is how do we stay humble, I don't know that we're humble, but here's the thing. If you have kids, if you have a YouTube channel. Oh, someone also asked, what's the hardest thing about having a YouTube channel? The hardest thing about having a YouTube channel sometimes can be people's really mean comments. So maybe don't leave those on people's YouTube channels. How do we stay humble comes from that question, or is one of the answers. But I think the main answer is one, being married. Being married will make you humble. Having children will make you humble. Pursuing a homestead will make you humble. And having a YouTube blog will make you humble. When you're constantly facing like the fact that you need help and need encouragement and need support all the time, you have to ask for that help and support and encouragement, and that's humbling.
So that was our first question and answer video. We had a lot of fun with that. Thanks for all the great questions and all the advice and support. Thanks a lot, and I hope you have a great day.
Thank you guys. We really appreciate you.